Well, hey everybody, I'm John Redlin with my review of WWE Crown Jewel 2 Electric Boogaloo, aka the best Saudi Arabia show that WWE has put on, which is like being the nicest smelling turd. It's still shit and still gonna smell like shit, but well, there were actually some decent moments in this, so it wasn't all shit. But look, it's just PR. It's a glorified house show, just extra pyro and shit like that. However, I do want to compliment a good majority of the crowd. They seem to react pretty favorably. Sure, they overused "This Is Awesome" chant, but that would be nitpicking because so many crowds here and even in the UK and wherever use that. So why nitpick on the crowd for that? They had energy. They just used a whole bunch of it in a lot of the matches. Sure, they were quiet for some people, but that's because some of them may be casual fans. They were just happy to see a show. However, for the few fans that were fucking disrespectful, like the people that threw a water ball at Ric Flair, and the people especially that threw a water ball at Natalya, and anybody that wants to disrespect the women's match, I know that you're upset because you small-minded, small dick fucks don't like that women are being treated with respect in other countries. They're human beings. They deserve to be treated with respect and be treated equally. I don't fucking care what any book says or what your beliefs say. They deserve to be treated with respect. And if you don't like women being treated with respect, get the fuck off my channel. If you support the fact that water balls were thrown at the women, fuck you guys. If you guys are going to call them out on it, and anybody that was in the crowd that happens to be watching this review for whatever reason, was calling out the people that did the water ball throwing, good. Nobody has to have the same beliefs in every single country, but let's at least treat men and women equally. Let's treat people from the LGBTQ community the same way. Why not? If they're human beings, treat them as such. And the women deserved more respect than they got, but they got a ton of respect from the crowd. I'm going to get into that here in a little bit, but I just wanted to put that out there because that really pissed me off. That was really fucking stupid. That was one of the few stupid things that the crowd did on this show. Actually, a lot of the stupid stuff was just in the ring. But anyway, we have Charlie Booker, David Otunga, and Scott Stanford on the kickoff panel, and we have Byron live at the venue interviewing Ric Flair. Ric Flair had no goddamn idea where he was. No idea. I mean, I get it. Rick did a whole lot of damage to his body and drank and did a whole bunch of other bullshit for years and years and years. It's sad to see where he is. He makes no goddamn sense on promos anymore. So, we go back to the studio. Booker is talking to Otunga and says, well, you've had women problems in the past. Gee, Booker, you want to not take a blowtorch to your colleague? I mean, good Lord. I mean, Otunga, by the way, the whole Jennifer Hudson marriage and how he got out of that because Jennifer Hudson was kind of an idiot with that. And good on Otunga for getting away. But now we go to the pre-show match. It's a 20-man battle royal to determine who faces AJ Styles for the U.S. Championship. And we have Sunil Singh, while the other Singh is outside the ring. We have Mojo Rawley, Rowan, R-Truth, Sin Cara, Brian Kendrick, Titus O'Neil, Tony Nese, Akira Tozawa, Shelton Benjamin, Apollo Crews, Buddy Murphy, Andrade. I like how everybody else, like a lot of other people, got their names back. And Andrade is just still Andrade. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, Drake Maverick, Eric Young, Luke Harper, Cedric Alexander, Heath Slater, Humberto Carrillo, and No Way Jose. And it was a typical battle royal. It wasn't bad. It was not a bad battle royal. The problem is battle royals are really hard to book, and a lot of this is just to put people on there to get a payday. And also to fill out the goddamn card. Even though I think you could probably just done maybe a 4-way elimination match, and you could have just had, the eventual winner just win that. But it was what it was. Rowan eliminates a few people like Drake, Slater, and Nese, and then Harper eliminates Young and Kendrick, and Harper was really over. I do want to say that. Harper was cheered pretty massively, and I do want to put over a majority of the crowd during this show. They actually were pretty good. They were. So I'm not going to fault them on that. And I'm not going to fault the good people in Saudi Arabia. There were just a few pieces of shit that decided to do stupid shit on this thing. And it was fucking bullshit. But the crowd was really goddamn good for the most part. And they were more alive than a lot of U.S. crowds because they don't get to see a lot of wrestling. So that was actually a positive. But anyway, No Way Jose tries to get Harper and Rowan to dance and then gets tossed out. This is the most I've seen No Way Jose on TV when he's not chasing after the 24/7 championship. Oh, look, speaking of the 24/7 championship, after Truth gets tossed out and after the Singh gets tossed out, R-Truth gets the roll up. 1, 2, 3. We have 24/7 championship shenanigans on this. I'm sorry, I hate the 24/7 championship. I hate it since it first was created, and I've hated it ever since. And now it's gotten just stale as fuck. It's actually been worse than a hardcore championship in 2002, 2001, 2002, but especially 2002, where they were just passing the championship around like, crazy, or like, or it was just ridiculous. It was just goddamn ridiculous how they did this stuff. But then, okay, I hate it. I just fucking hate it. Truth is like a 20,000 time champion. But then everybody starts chasing him around the ring after they were eliminated. they start chasing him around the ring again. Well, there's still a few people left in. We're down to Rowan, Harper, and Humberto. Rowan tosses out Harper. And then Humberto ends up, tossing out Rowan using his momentum. Humberto wins. Cool. Okay, good. He wasn't going to win the next match, but he was going to. But at least he got this moment. Then we get a promo from a few of the teams in Tag Turmoil, like Rude and Ziggler and Heavy Machinery. I don't know what Otis is. I don't have a clue what Otis is, but it was what it was. So then we got Pyro, and it's one for each missile. That, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. You know where the joke's going. Check out my Twitter. So, we get the WWE Championship kicking off. We get Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman, and shockingly, Heyman got cheered, given how his, belief system isn't exactly revered over there. Just saying. And he faced off against Cain Velasquez with Rey Mysterio, and they hyped up the whole UFC 2010 fight where Cain beat him easily, this kind of stuff. And this was lame. I know that Cain is hurt. I get that Cain Velasquez is hurt, and I get that his knee is hurt. And okay, that's understandable. If this match had not been for the WWE Championship, I would have been fine with it. I would have been somewhat fine with it. This was like a condensed version of Hogan versus Warrior 2 at Halloween Havoc 98, where Brock just got his win back. Now, if Cain needs surgery, if he's got like a bad knee or whatever it is, and he needs surgery, he needs like a few months to recover, a couple months to recover, and then come back like at the Royal Rumble and like shock Brock, and hopefully not like that, and they have a match at WrestleMania, okay. This didn't need to be for the WWE Championship. We took the title off of Kofi for this? So Brock could get his win back after 9 goddamn years in something that I had to be reminded actually happened. And it's not that UFC isn't important, but there's crossover appeal, do not misunderstand, and Cain has taken to wrestling pretty well, but he was in 6-mans in AAA, and his weaknesses were hidden. The fact that he's still a rookie. This was just really, really bad. We got a few strikes, a few lame strikes, and then a Kimura lock, and Cain Velasquez taps out. Yay, that was worth all the weeks of hype that we goddamn got. That was worth taking the title off of Kofi Kingston, except it fucking wasn't. Brock winning the title was inevitable to me. But just have him face Rey. I mean, I know Rey was hurt, apparently. Have him face somebody else. And save this whole thing of Cain Velasquez showing up for later. Yes, they wanted a big match, and I guess the Crown Prince wanted, and, Vince was like, hey, these are big stars. Let's pay all this money and everything. Fine. But Cain had a bum knee. This wasn't going to go very long, and it was stupid. I went longer ranting about this goddamn match than it actually went, including the entrances. That's fucking sad. I'm not really that interested to see Cain Velasquez again in the ring. Now, I mean, hopefully he gets surgery, can recover, and if he can get better, great. I don't have any desire to see this match again, and we're probably going to see it again at WrestleMania. So then he F5s Cain onto a chair. Rey gets in and somehow fights off, Brock with a chair. Hitting him in the head at one point, but Brock got his hands up. And then hits him in the back, hits him in the ass with the chair at one point. That was kind of funny. We're going to get Rey versus Brock possibly at some point on SmackDown, and it's not going to be good. Because I don't want to see Rey Mysterio. As much as I love Rey Mysterio, I don't want to see him with the championship. Also want to make mention really, really quickly. Apparently, we are getting Raw, SmackDown, NXT facing each other at Survivor Series. That's going to mess up War Games, or that's going to make a bunch of people work twice, but whatever. Cool. We'll see what happens, because we have less than a month. We have like 22, 23 days. We have less than 23. We have about 22 days until Survivor Series. They need to start building this shit really quickly tomorrow. I know that a bunch of people, I feel bad for all the talents that went over there on SmackDown, that are part of SmackDown. They're going to have to be back. My thing is, have a few of the men wrestle if you're having them, but have so many of the women wrestle. because you only had one women's match here, and showcase the women. That's what I would do. So we get Revival and Viking Raider promos about tag turmoil match, and then largest tag team turmoil match in the world, in the history of the world until the next time. We start off with Rude and Ziggler versus the Team Do a Good Lucha thing, aka Lucha House Party. It's fine, and Rude and Ziggler won. Then we get Hawkins and Ryder in, and they lose pretty quickly. And then we get Heavy Machinery in there. We get Shirtless Otis. Isn't this considered lewd in Saudi Arabia? Because it's lewd to me. I just don't need... Otis is having fun. I don't know. I just don't get the whole Heavy Machinery thing. But whatever. They seem to be having fun. So, we then get a Trash Compactor. Rude and Ziggler are eliminated. New Day get in. And soon after having a decent match, we get a Midnight Hour. 1, 2, 3. I didn't care about this match. Can you tell? We get the B-Team. And B-Team got the big ending. Go, go, go. Get the fuck out of here. And just don't plague the tag team division. It's not that the guys aren't talented. I hate the team. And then the Revival get in. And you're thinking, okay, Revival and New Day are facing off tomorrow for the tag team championships. Oh, well, New Day, Kofi gets a roll-up. The surprise roll-up and gets the win. And then Revival beats them down. So, of course, you have 2 Caucasian men beating on 2 black men in Saudi Arabia. News at 11. And then we get to Gallows and Anderson coming in, and they win easily. And then the War Raiders, or the Viking Raiders, come down. Of course, the crowd starts chanting, war, war, war. I'm going to just let you leave that open to interpretation, because I think you can figure out where I'm going with this. Shockingly, the War Raiders, get in. Shockingly, Gallows and Anderson won. I actually expected the War Raiders to not so shockingly win. But Gallows and Anderson win. Okay, that's the Viking Raiders' first loss on Raw. First pinfall loss on Raw. I don't even know if they got pinned in NXT. I don't remember, because I know they relinquished the tag titles. But okay, their first pinfall loss is in Saudi Arabia. Really? It is what it is. Gallows and Anderson probably aren't going to win the tag titles back, but it's just silly. We then get Ray talking backstage, and I guess he's challenging Brock. I don't want this match. I don't want this match for the championship, at least. Dominic's going to help him win the championship, isn't he? Oh, fucking hell. Brock being Dominic was funny. Anyway, let's go on to Cesaro versus Mansoor. Mansoro. This match was fine. It was well wrestled. It was just a way to get a home country pop for Mansoor, who did well, hit some good moves. Cesaro sold well, carried him properly. Not that Mansoor didn't hold up his end, and not that Cesaro didn't do a really good job, but big old moonsault. 1, 2, 3. It's Mansoor salt, and that's probably what they're going to call it. But he wins, cuts passionate promo, and of course he says, I stepped in front of you people. Wait, I added the you people part because of course I did. No, his home country is happy. Everybody seemed happy. That's good. Good. Hopefully maybe he'll be featured on NXT TV more if they want to capitalize on this. I'm 50-50 on the guy. There's been some shady stuff about the guy's past where I don't know if he's necessarily grown out of that, so I'm not so sure how to feel about him as a person, considering some stuff that he said. But if he's grown and he actually accepts that what he said in his youth was wrong and that he, has grown and wants positive change, great. As a wrestler, he's fine, and he got a home country pop. We then get Braun versus Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury gets this big old pyro-filled entrance and everything and has a song, It's Your Thing, Do What You Want to Do. No, I'm not going to sing the rest of the song, mainly because I just forgot the lyrics. But then Tyson Fury gets his entrance, and fucking hell, they probably spent like $1 million on the pyro, for God's sake. Well, actually, it was probably like about a couple $100,000, but anyway, so much pyro. This was one of the safest worked matches I've seen in years. And that's smart because Tyson Fury, as much as he hates gay people, apparently, and no wonder he would fit in Saudi Arabia just fine. I mean, with the government, I don't mean with the citizens. Maybe the citizens want change. I don't know. But it was fine. It was typical big man stuff. I don't want to see Tyson Fury in the ring again. I know that he may be a legit fan, but I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to see him in the ring again. I didn't see anything that necessarily impressed me, though he did do a kip up at one point. But fucking hell. It was unnecessary. And if they actually did pay him $15 million to do, for the hype and for this kind of match, fucking hell, guys, $1.5 million would have been too much. Oh, well, and, by the way, Bronde is typical stuff, run around the ring, and then Fury stopped him at one point, hits a knockout punch, Braun falls out of the ring. Can't answer the count because he gets counted out. And Tyson Fury celebrates, and then Braun hits him with a power slam. And Tyson Fury kind of no-sells that afterwards, barely sells it, and then gets back up. So, good job there. Please do not bring Tyson Fury back to the ring. I just don't want to see it. It was a spectacle that was unnecessary. And also, maybe he needs to stop hating gay people and hating women and being a generally piece of shit person. Being the Gypsy King apparently means that he's a brainless fuck. All due respect to the nice gypsies that happen to be watching this show, if there are any of you. So, 24/7 recap. Stop. Just stop. The Sings win it back, but with R-Truth running into a door. Somebody needs to take the person that came up with this championship and throw him into a goddamn door. Knock some goddamn sense into him. This was fucking bullshit. I don't need to see this fucking shit again. I don't need to see it. It's not funny. It's fucking rotten. If you guys like it, by the way, it's fine. I just don't like it. We didn't get Styles with Gallows and Anderson versus Humberto Carrillo. It was decent. It's good stuff. Humberto, since he'd already wrestled a match, was a little bit tired, but did some good stuff. Styles, of course, working on the knee at one point. Humberto did do some nice dives and had a couple near falls. There was no doubt he was going to lose here, though. Phenomenal for him. 1, 2, 3. That was it. We get a Hogan promo. He hates people like Byron. And I'm going to go to my goddamn grave feeling that way because he's only upset and he was only upset and apologized because he got caught. But who knows? Maybe the man that hates the brother actually believes that he can change. I don't, but whatever. We then get Natalya versus Lacey Evans, the first ever women's match in Saudi Arabian history. One, again, the stupid fucks that threw the goddamn water ball at Natalya and that tried to disrespect the women, though they were covered up. Because you have to cover up women's bodies because, oh fucking Christ, how dare they show skin? But all the Saudi Arabian men, they can show all the skin they goddamn well want because everybody wants to see that. It's like Italian tourists, for God's sakes, on the beach, wearing Speedos when they shouldn't. Why am I being so hateful towards Italians when there are so many cool Italian people there? The whole point is, be objective, and if you're gonna slander women for showing off their bodies, then slander the men for it too. But oh yeah, that's right. It's a woman hating government over there. Maybe there's some cool people in that crowd. I'm sorry, but it's just like the stuff I've heard. Women deserve to be treated better over there. They really do. They need to stop being jailed and all this stuff just for speaking out and wanting equal rights and stuff like that. And it's kind of funny that Lacey Evans was in this match. One, I do want to point out that, because of the whole woman's right thing, the women were very emotional, and that's great. A lot of the women, they cut the shots of the women in the crowd, little girls, old, younger women, older women. Well, young women, old women. It was great to see. Well, maybe not so many old women, but you get my point. Mothers, daughters, they were happy to see women being represented in a ring finally. I didn't think I'd see the day. So, yes, a PR stunt, clearly. It's clearly a fucking PR stunt. I'm not faulting the women. I'm not faulting the women in the crowd for being happy. I'm not faulting Natalya and Lacey for doing it. Bravo to those women for being able to make that change happen. Bravo. They went out there and made that history. And to any of the people, by the way, just really, really quickly before I continue this review, to any of the people that are saying, oh, it's Natalya and Lacey again, we don't want to see that. It's not about the fucking match. Okay, well, I don't necessarily care to see this match again because it's a match that we'd seen a whole lot. They went out and had a match in Saudi Arabia, something that we didn't think we'd get to see. The real world, the progressive world, didn't think we'd get to see something like that. Women being mostly treated with respect, except for the water bottle fuck, you tiny dick moronic small brain motherfuckers. And yeah, I'm going to call you that. I call you that to your goddamn face, but no, I live in a better country, a country where we maybe aren't going to be allowed to throw water balls at women because there's only some idiots here that disrespect women. And we know who they support. But anyway, yeah, this is getting a little bit angry, if you can tell. But however, this match, the crowd popped for it. The crowd popped big. There were some good moves and everything. Both women were emotional. Sharpshooter for the win, of course. You couldn't have somebody that, has a woman's right, win in Saudi Arabia because the Crown Prince doesn't like women's rights. Yeah, I'm going to say that. So, even I can't take the words back, so both women were crying afterwards. There were a lot of women that were happy in the crowd, and that's great. That's great. It meant a lot to Natalya and Lacey. It meant a lot to the women in the crowd. That's good. I don't think it's going to lead to much change, but it's a step. Do I believe it's going to lead to much change? Probably not, but at least it's something. And it's something for the women. in the ring. It's something for the women in the crowd. And for the men to hate it in the crowd, fuck you. You don't like it. Just say you don't like women and get over it. So then we get Team Flair versus Team Hogan. Team Flair, Lashley with Lana covered up from head to toe. She would have been better off staying at home. I'm sorry. I just don't need to see Lana there with this stupid storyline. There's nothing against Lana. The storyline's stupid. But anyway, Lashley, Nakamura, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and Orton with Ric Flair versus Team Hogan. We get Roman Reigns, Rusev, Ricochet, Ali, and Gable. He is Gable. He is not this whole shorty thing, because that's fucking stupid. Gable should ask to leave the company. If his contract is up soon, leave. He'd go New Japan, he'd go to AEW, he'd go somewhere he could earn comparable money, wrestle on the indies, and be treated with fucking respect. So, because this ain't going to get him over. By the way, Hogan and Jimmy Hart at ringside. And Hogan doing the whole take your vitamins thing. It's roids. We know it's roids, Hogan. I know you can't take roids now, not that, it would shrivel up your dick anymore and, make you hate the brother's brother any more than you already do. So, one funny exchange during Rusev's entrance, though. I can tell you what's going through Rusev's mind. Tiered alimony, says Corey. Cole retorts right back, I knew your life experiences would come in handy, Corey. Cole, you saucy bitch. I really objectively hate a lot of your commentary. That was funny. That was funny. Because Corey kind of deserves that shot. Just saying. Granted, I shouldn't be the one talking about cheating on significant others, but here we go. I had to learn from my experiences. So, Ali got a pop. That was good stuff. No one cared about Gable. Probably because they don't know him. Probably because it's an objectively stupid gimmick and he's dressed up like a Space Jam reject. And I like Gable. He's very talented, as I just said before. So we get Rusev and Lashley doing a tease spot thing, and it's stupid. It's a stupid angle where both these guys could go out and have a 2-month feud, tear it up on house shows, tear it up on TV, tear it up on a couple pay-per-views, and have a blow-off for Rusev win. No, you can't do that. You got to have this happen. You got to involve Lana, and just, look, nothing against Lana being on TV, but if you're not going to use her properly, why is she there? And Lashley doesn't look like he gives a shit. Rusev looks like he's about to break up because he doesn't like being in these freaking storylines anymore. But whatever. So it was okay. It was fine. The match was fine. Should have been an elimination match. I don't know why it wasn't. It could have been Greatest Survivor Series. But Roman gets a pop. Rusev and Lashley brawl. Reigns dives on everybody at one point. We get a cool RKO spot to Reigns. And then we get Randy Orton being teamed up on, where Ali kind of escapes out of the RKO like he has before. And then you got Ricochet in, I think it's an All Might costume. I'm not really familiar with All Might. People in the comments, please tell me. But everybody teams up on Orton. And of course, Orton immediately when he targeted Ali, of course, he has to target the brown person. Cole, however, saying not the best line to say in Saudi Arabia, there are bodies everywhere. Maybe don't say that. Spirit of Orton, Reigns wins, LOL. I'm kidding. Reigns won. I'm past the whole Reigns wins, LOL thing. But it was what it was. Then we get to Rollins versus The Fiend. Falls Count Anywhere match for the Universal Championship. The match cannot be stopped for any reason. I don't think you know what the fuck it means. Those words do not mean what you think they mean. So a pinfall, submission, any of that stuff, nope, it can't be stopped for any reason. Oh, except for a pinfall or submission. The match can only end by pinfall or submission is what you should have fucking said. That's it. That's all you had to fucking say. That can't be stopped for any reason. And by the way, this is the Virtual Boy Mania match. The red light was stupid when Kane used it in his matches, even though it was the first few. It was stupid now. It's fucking rotten. It was dumb when they did it for Sin Cara. That was to hide the fact that Mystico can't do anything. Or Caristico right now. He can't do anything without botching, but stupid lighting doesn't do anything for the live crowds. I can tell you, having seen Sin Cara's match at Over the Limit 2011, it's very hard to see what's going on. And seriously, it's like staring through a goddamn Virtual Boy. This match was shit. Except for the ending, which is kind of hilarious given the fact that the Hell in a Cell match was not bad for a while and was just a shit ending and a shit fallout and all that. But, just good God. Of course, the crowd chants Burn It Down with Seth Rollins' entrance. Again, let me just leave that open to interpretation, but The Fiend has a severed head lantern in Saudi Arabia. The Crown Prince wanted Khashoggi's head to be that, but the Fiend says, no, I will not do that. Yowie, wowie, that's a bad idea. I now feel stupid for saying that, but the crowd was pretty much on the Fiend's side. I couldn't see much of anything. And I feel bad. Shout out to a couple of my friends. I know they're colorblind. They're watching this. I'm not going to call you out by name, but you know who you are. I feel bad for you guys. We got a sledgehammer and T spots with a sledgehammer on a chair and this kind of stuff and table spots. You can't see anything. It was fucking rotten. I imagine the crowd was probably pissed. I mean, because it's like, I don't understand the idea. Oh, they're trying to add a mystique to the Fiend. There's a separation between the Fiend and Bray Wyatt. We get it. By the way, it is the Fiend, not just the Fiend Bray Wyatt. We know it's Bray Wyatt. He can do whatever he wants. He can do all the spoopiness he wants, but we know it's Bray Wyatt. So anyway, table stomps, curb stomp, or table spots, table stomps. Table stomping would actually be pretty fun. Curb stomps on the floor. We got more stomps on the stage. You know, this thing kind of goes all over the place, but it can't be stopped for any reason. We then get a weird electrical spot. It kind of reminded me of when Foley and Rock did that in their I Quit match at Royal Rumble 99, just without the 12 unprotected chair shots of the head. But there's a staging area with a whole bunch of these boxes, and Bray gets knocked down off of there, and all of this sparks and everything, and then this fire happens like about 4 feet away from Bray, which probably could have hurt pretty much, but he probably had like a fireproof blanket that he covered himself up with. But then, you know, Rollins gets down there and he's trying to pull the boxes and then the spark flies and he's like, I can't see. It's fucking terrible. It's like that scene in Brightburn when the lady got the glass in her eye and stuff like that, except that movie was better. And sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen Brightburn. Did a review of it, by the way. Check out my movie review list. So, yeah, my eye. The goggles, they do nothing. And then, Mandible Claw, Sister Abigail, and 1, 2, 3, new Universal Champion. We're getting the Fiend on Raw, and we're getting Bray Wyatt on SmackDown. Okay. Cool, he won the title. Great. You should have just done this at Hell in a Cell. Or you shouldn't have had it be for the title at Hell in a Cell, and then just build to a title match here, but he wins it in Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry, but the fans were pretty happy about it, and that's great. And again, the crowd was pretty hot, pun intended. They actually were. And great, the Fiend won it. Rollins doesn't come out looking any worse, because he already looked pretty goddamn shit to begin with. And then you got Bray Wyatt, who's the champion. It's going to be interesting to see what they fucking do, from here on out, because he's going to have to hold the championship until at least Mania. He's going to have to hold that long, which is going to give him about almost 5.5 month reign. Or 4 months, 5 months and like a week. But I'm just, D, I guess. I mean, there were some moments, but it was still a pretty shit show. At least a couple things happened, but D, poll, if I forget to put the poll up there, leave it in the comments what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland, and I'll see you for SmackDown tomorrow.